どうも。あれコメントが。コメント、ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。どうだ来た。OK。はい、どうも。こんかみ。I-STREAM 所属、6期生見習い神主の明智宗次郎です。こんかみ。大コメントありがとうございます。こんかみ。Hello. What's up, bro? Hello. こんかみいらっしゃいませ。こんかみ。お布団から出れて偉い。ついさっき出ました。マジで、つい10分15分前にのそのそと起き上がりました。それまでに40分かかりました。くそ。まあ、悪い気はしねえな。字幕おかしかったマジ？多分ね、これで治る。どうだ？そうだね。ちゃんとモニターに出してないとね、字幕が動かないっていうね。まあ、治ったでしょうと。どうも、こんかみいらっしゃいませ。というわけで、よいしょ、座り心地が。本日も元気よく、お勉強の方をしていきたいと思います。ただし、よく喋ります。さあ、週の初めですね。もう、僕は勘弁してほしいと思ってます。もうすでにね。よいしょ。ちょっと待って。メモ帳持ってこないと。少々お待ちください。よいしょ。さあ、じゃあやってこっか。早速ね。とりあえず今日は今週のやることと予定表を作りつつやね。頑張ると。今週は配信の方でも作業しなきゃいけないことが多いから、なるべく早く神社の修行は終わらせて配信の方に時間を割きたい。そういう心づもりです。これ終わったら英単語と英語の文章を読むやつやろうかなと思って。 ばいな今週。ちょっとマジでこれ予想の 2.3 倍ぐらいの課題出てる。おい神主マジかよこれ。どうしよう。まあ一個ずつぶち転がしていこう。こんかみいらっしゃいませ。こんかみやべえ。とりあえず自信のあるやつだけバーってやって自信のやつ後回しにしよう。オッケー。以上。そういえばさ、神社にさ、神主たち用の冷蔵庫があるんだけど、その中にさ、いつもペットボトルの水が入っててさ、それを僕はよく一人でお留守番してる時に飲むんだけどさ、この前水飲んでたらさ、いつもと違う銘柄だなとは思ってたんだけど、まあ気にせず飲んでたわけ。そしたらさ、それさ、来賓用だよって言われて、わざわざ僕自費でさフィジーのさ水を2本飲んだから2本リストックしなきゃいけなくて、でも2本入りなんてないから6本入りで使ってさ家にあんま飲まないフィジーの水があるんだけど、別に味の差も感じないしな。しかもなんかフィジーの水あんまり美味しいと感じないんだよね。軟水と硬水の違いだったと思うんだけど、飲みにくい。なんかバリウム飲んでるみたいな気がするから、もう美味しくないんだよな。フィジー、そうフィジーの水バリウム、フィジーの水って何硬水軟水飲んだんだろう。ちょっと待って。フィジーウォールのコードは中硬水らしい。飲みやすい？いや飲みにくいね。あ、でも軟水に入るらしい。飲みにくいね。フィジーウォーターは日本人の口に合う飲みやすさを持ちながらシリカをはじめとするミネラルが豊富に含まれているメリットだらけのミネラルウォーターです。いやー飲みにくいな。あんま好きじゃなかったな。なのに2本飲んじゃったから自費ですよ自費でくそ 僕そもそも水が好きじゃないからね。それもあるかもしんないけど、やっぱ水よりもお茶でしょ。緑茶が一番ですよ。味がないと何飲んでるか分かんなくなるしみたいなね。よし、今週やることは確認した。Simile, metaphor, personification, definition, contrast, synonym, confess, whinies, preparation, intense, behavior, consequence, contribution, spontaneous, extinction, negative, punishment, undesired, stimulus, salivation, pessimist, optimist, internal, external, locus, parasympathetic, 副交感神経 parasympathetic副交感神経 automatic nervous system grieved hear about acquaintance そうだ出たこれ grieved 誰かが死んだ誰かの死による大きな悲しみの感情懐かしい grieved 今日は僕はね読み物を持ってきました。紙媒体でね Call me by your name あなたの名前で僕を呼んでですね。これ確か映画もやってたんじゃないかな。 Call me by your name これをちょっと読む練習しようかなと思って。 If not letter when laterがイギリスか later そうちゃんって呼んで。そうだよ、そうちゃんって呼んで。 The world, the voice, the attitude I'd never heard anyone use later to say goodbye before. It sounded harsh, curt, and dismissive. Spoken was the veiled indifference of people who may not care to see or hear from you again. It is the first thing I remember about him, and I can hear it still today. Later, I shut my eyes, say the word, and I'm back in Italy. So many years ago, walking down the tree-lined driveway, watching him step out of the cab, billowy, blue shirt, wide open collar, sunglasses, straw hat, skin everywhere. Suddenly, he's shaking my hand, handing me his backpack, removing his suitcase from the trunk of the cab, asking if my father is home. It might have started right there and then. The shirt, the roll-up sleeves, the rounded balls of his heel slipping in and out of his flayed espadrilles, eager to test the hot gravel path that led to our house, every stride already asking which way to the beach. The summer's house guest another bore, then almost without thinking, and with his back already turned to the car, he waves the back of his free hand and utters a careless letter to another passenger in the car who has probably split the far from the station. No name added, no jest to smooth out the ruffled, leave taking nothing. His one word sent off, brisk, bold, and grunted, take your pick. He couldn't be both. Elate which you watch, I thought, this is how he'll say goodbye to us when the time comes, with a glove dash later. Meanwhile, we'd have to put with him for 6 long weeks. I was thoroughly intimidated that the unapproachable sort I could grow to like him thought. From rounded chin to rounded heel, then within days I would learn to hate him. This, the very person whose photo of the application form month earlier had leaped out with promises of instant apprentice. めちゃくちゃ嫌いなんだ。調子乗ったやつが家に来てめちゃくちゃ嫌いなんだ。Taking in summer guest was my parents' way of helping young academic revise a manuscript before publication. For 6 weeks each summer, I'd have a vacate my bedroom and move one room down the corridor into a much smaller room than had once belonged to my grandfather during the winter month when we were away in the city. It became a part-time, two-shed, strange room and attic where rumor had it my grandfather, my name Sheikh, still ground his teeth in his eternal sleep. Summer resident didn't have to pay anything, were given the full run of the house, and could basically do anything they pleased, provided they spent an hour or so a day helping my father with his correspondence and assorted paperwork. They become part of the family, and after about 15 years of doing this, we had gotten used to a shower of postcard of gift packages, not only around Christmas time, but all years long from people who were not totally devoted to our family and would go out of their way when they were in Europe to drop by me for a day or two with their family and take a nostalgic tour of their old digs. At meals, they were frequently 2 or 3 other guests, sometimes neighborhood or relatives, sometimes colleagues, lawyer, doctor, the rich, the farmers who'd drop by to see my father on their way to their own summer houses. Sometimes we'd even open our dining room to the occasional tourist couple who'd heard of the old villa and simply wanted to come by and take a peek and were totally enchanted when asked to eat with us and tell us about themselves, while Mahaluda informed in the last minute dishes out her usual fare. My father, who has received and shy in private, loved nothing better than to have some precocious racing expert in a field keep the conversation going in a few languages, while the hot summer sun, after a few glasses of the Rosatello, ushered in the unavoidable afternoon torpor. We named the task dinner gradually, and after a while so did most of our 6-week guests. Maybe it started soon after he arrived during one of these grinding lunches when he sat next to me, and it finally dawned on me that despite a light turn occurred during his brief stay in Sicily earlier this summer, the color on the palms of his hand was the same as the pale, soft skin of his skull, of his throat, of the bottom of his forearms, which hadn't really been exposed to much sun, almost light pink, as glistening and smooth as the underside of lizard belly, private chest, unfledged like a blush on athlete face, or an instance of down on a stormy night. It told me things about him never knew to ask. It maybe have started during those endless hours after lunch, when every round about in bathing suit inside and outside the house, bodies sprouted everywhere, killing time before someone finally suggested we hurried down to the locks for a swim. Relatives, counselors, neighbors, friends of friends, colleagues, or just about anyone who cared to knock the our gate and ask if they could use our tennis court. Everyone was welcome to lounge and swim and eat, and if they stayed long enough, use the guest house. ちょっと待って、ずらしちゃった。お腹すいた。 どういったこれor perhaps it started on the beach or at the tennis court or during our first walking together on his very first day when I was asked to show his the house and its surrounding area, and one thing's leading to the other managed to take him past the very old forged iron metal gate as far back as the endless empty lot in the hinterland toward to abandoned train tracks that used to connect B to N. Is there an abandoned station house somewhere? He asked, looking through the trees under the scalding sun, probably trying to ask the right question of the owner's son. No, there was never a station house. The train simply stopped when you asked. He was curious about the train. The rails seemed so narrow. It was two-wagon train bearing the royal insignia. I explained. Gypsies lived in now. They'd been living there never since my mother used to summer here as a girl. The Gypsies had hauled the two delayed cars farther inland. Did he want to see them? Later, maybe? Polite indifference, as he'd spotted me, misplaces deal to place up to him and was summarily pushing me away. But it stung me. Instead, he said he wanted to open an account in one of the banks in B, then pay to visit to his Italian translator whom his Italian publisher had engaged for his book. ちょっと水飲め。これはあれですね。お父さんが大学教授かなんかで夏の間だけ大学生を別荘に招くんだけど、その大学生と主人公が恋をする話ですね。どういった Instead, he said he wanted to open an 違う読んだここBank B his book. I decided to take him there by bike. The conversation was no better on wheel than no foot. Along the way, we stopped for something to drink. The bird tabacaria was totally dark and empty. The owner was mopping the floor with a powerful ammonia solution. We stepped outside as soon as we could. A lonely blackbird sitting in a Mediterranean pine sang a few notes that were immediately drowned out by the little of the cicadas. I took a long swig from a large bottle of mineral water, passed it to him, then drank from it again. I spilled some on my hand and rubbed my face with it. Running my wet finger through my hair, the water was insufficiently cold. not fizzy enough, leaving behind an unselected likeness of thirst. What did one do around here? Nothing. Wait for summer to end. What did one do in the winter then? I smiled at the answer I was about to give. He got the gist and said, "Don't tell me, wait for summer to come, right?" I liked having my mind read. He'd pick up on dinner gradually sooner than those before him. Actually, in the winter, the place gets very gray and dark. We come for Christmas, otherwise it's ghost town. And what else do you do here at Christmas besides roast less chestnut and drink eggnogs? He was tasting. I offered the same smile as before. He undistracted, said nothing. We laughed. He asked what I did. I played tennis one. Went out at night, jogged, transcribed, music read. He said he jogged too, early in the morning. Where did one jog around here? Along the promenade, mostly. I could show him if he wanted. It hit me in the face just when I was starting to like him again. Later, maybe. I had put in reading last one list, thinking that with the willful, brazen attitude he'd displayed so far, reading would figure out. Last one his a few hours later, when I remembered that he had just finished writing a book on Heraclitus, and the reading was probably not an insignificant part of his life, I realized that I needed to perform some clever backpedaling and let him know that my real interest lay right alongside his. What unsettled me, thought, was not the fancy footwork needed to redeem myself. It was the unwelcome missing give with which is finally dawned on me. Both then and during our casual conversation by the train track, that I had all wrong without even admitting it, already been trying and failing to win his over. When I did offer become all visitor, loved the idea to take him to San Giacomo. なんだこれ、多分地名かな。Giacomo. Come here. And walk up to the very top of the belfry we nicknamed To Die For. I should have known better than to just stand there without a comeback. I thought I'd bring him around simply by taking him up there and letting him take in the beauty of the town, the sea, eternity, but no later. But it might have started way later than I think without my noticing anything at all. you see someone, but you don't really see him. He's in the wings. Or you notice him, but nothing clicks, nothing catches, and before you're even aware of presence or of something troubling you, the 6 weeks that were offered, you have almost passed it, and he is either already gone or just about to leave. And you're basically scrambling to come to terms with something which unbeknownst to you has been brewing for weeks under your very nose and ears. All the symptom of what you're forced to call I want. How couldn't I have known, you ask? I know desire when I see it, and yet this time it slipped by completely. I was going for the divorced smile that wouldn't suddenly light up his face each time he'd read my mind, when all I really wanted was skin, just skin. At dinner on his third evening, I sensed that he was staring at me as I was explaining Haydn's 7 last words of Christ, with which I'd been transcribing. I was 17 that year, and being the youngest at the table and the least likely to listen to, I had developed the habit of smuggling as much information into the fewest possible words I spoken fast, which gave people the impression that I was always flustered and muffling my words. After I had finished explaining my transcription, I became aware of the neat glance coming from my left. It thrilled the further to me. He was obviously interested. He liked me. It hadn't been as difficult as all that then, but when, after taking my time, I finally turned to face him and take in his glance, I met a cold ice glare, something at once hostile and bit rifled that bordered on calmly. It undid me completely. What had I done to deserve this? I wanted him to be kind to me again, to laugh with me as he had done just a few days earlier on the abandoned train tracks, or when I'd explained to him that same afternoon that B was the only town in Italy where the Corriere, the regional bus line carrying Christ, whisked by without ever stopping. He had immediately laughed and recognized the veiled allusion to Carol Live's book. I liked how our mind seems to travel in parallel, how we instantly informed what word the other way to toying whispered, but at the least moment held back. He was going to be a difficult neighbor, better stay away from him, I thought, the thinking that I had almost fallen for the skin of his hand, his chest, his feet, and had never touched a raw surface in their existence, and his eye, which when their other kinder gaze fell near, came like the miracle of the resurrection. You could never stare long enough, but needed to keep stalling to find out why Don couldn't. I must have shot him a similarly wicked glass. For 2 days, our conversation come to a sudden halt on the long balcony that both our bedrooms shared. Total avoidance. Just a makeshift hello, good morning, nice weather, shallow chit-chat. Then, without explanation, things resumed. Did I want to go jogging this morning? No, not totally. Well, let's swim then. Today, the pay, the stocking, the thoroughly of someone new, the promise of so much breast hobbling a fingertip away, the fumbling around people I might misread and don't want to lose, the second guest at every turn, the displayed cunning I bring to everyone I want and claim to be wanted by, the screens I put up as though between me and the world there were not just one, but layers of rice paper, sliding doors, the urge to scramble and unscramble what was never really coded in the first place. All this started the summer Oliver come into our house. They're embossed on every song that was hit the summer. In every novel I read during the after his stay, on anything from the smell of the rosemary on hot days to the frantic rattle of the cicadas in the afternoon, smells and sounds I'd grow up with the known every year of my life until then, but that had suddenly turned on me, acquired an inflection forever colored by event of that summer. Or perhaps it started after his first week, when I was thrilled to see he still remembered who I was, that he didn't ignore me, and that therefore I could allow myself the luxury of passing him on my way to the garden and not having to pretend that I was unaware of him. We jogged early on the first morning, all the way up to B and back. Early the next morning we swam. Then the day after we jogged again. I liked racing by the milk delivery van when it was far from done with it rounded, or by grocer and baker as they were just getting ready for business. Like to run along the shore and promenade when there wasn't so about yet, and our house seemed a distant village. I liked it when our feet were elegant left with left and struck the ground at the same time, leaving footprint on the shore that I wish to return to, and in secret place my foot where his had left its mark. Perhaps 好き、僕も好き。ちょっと待って、水飲むね。めちゃくちゃ長く乾燥する。This alternation of running and swimming was simply his routine. In graduate school, did he run on the Sabbath? I jogged. He always exercised even when he was sick. He'd exercise in bed if he had to. Even when he'd slept with someone new the night before, he said he'd still head out for a jog early in the morning. The only time he didn't exercise was when they offered it on him. When I asked him what for, the answer I had promised never to incite in him come at me like the thwack of a jack-in-the-box, wearing baleful smoke trailer. Perhaps he was out of breath and didn't want to talk too much, or just wanted to concentrate of his swimming or his running, or perhaps it was his way of spilling me to do the same, totally harmless. But there was something at once chilling and off-putting in the sudden distance that crept between us in the most unextended moment. It was almost as though he were doing it on purpose, feeding me slack and more slack, and then yanking away an semblance of fellowship. The steely gaze always returned. One day, while I was practicing my guitar at what I had become my table in the back garden by the pool, and he was laying nearby on the grass, I recognized that gaze right away. He had been staring at me while I was focusing on the fingerboard, and when I suddenly raised my face to see if he liked what I was playing, there it was, cutting curious like a glistening blade instantly retracted the moment its victim caught sight of it. He gave me a bland smile and thought say no point binding it now. Stay away from him. He must have noticed that I was shaken, and in an effort to make it up to me began asking me questions about the guitar. I was too much on my guard to answer him with candor. Meanwhile, hearing me scramble and answers made him suspect, and perhaps more was amiss than I was showing. Don't bother explaining, just play it again. But I thought you hate it. Whatever gave you that idea? We argued back and forth. Just play it, will you? The same one. I stood up and walked into the living room, leaving the large French windows open so that he might hear me play it on the piano. He followed me halfway and leaning on the window's wooden frame, listening for a while. I feel missed a lot of context in the story. No, it's just I'm reading 12 pages, so it's just the beginning. めっちゃ perhaps 言うね。多分そういうストーリー。You changed it. It's not the same. What did you do it to? I just played it the way Liszt would have played. He jimmied around with it. Just play it again, please. I liked the way he feigned expression, so I started playing the piece again. After a while, I can't believe you changed it again. Well, not by much. This is just how Bosoni would have played it if he had altered Liszt version. Can't you just play the Bach the way Bach wrote it? But Bach never wrote it for guitar. He may not even have written it for the harpsichord. In fact, we're not even sure if by Bach at all. For God, I asked. Okay. No need to get to work up, I said. It was my turn to Fagin, dreading acquiescence. ちゃんと言えない。This is the batch as transcribed by me without Busoni and Liszt. It's very young batch and it's dedicated to his brother. I knew exactly what flawless in the piece must have struck him the first time, and each time I played it, I was sending it to him as a little gift because it was really dedicated to him as token of something very beautiful in me that would take no genius to figure out, and that urged me to throw in an extended kazenda just for him. And he must have recognized that sign long before I did. Frotting. ああ、だんだん好きになってきちゃった。ちょっと待って。この言葉の意味がわかんないから調べるね。ああ。Later that evening in my diary, I wrote I was exhalating when I said I thought you hated the piece. What I mean to say was, I thought you hate me. I was hoping you'd pleasured me of the opposite, and you did for a while. Why won't I believe it tomorrow morning? So this is who he also is. I said to myself after seeing how he'd flipped from ice to sunshine. I might as well have asked, do I flip back and forth in just the same way? P.S. We're not writing for one instrument alone. I was not. Neither are you. I had been perfectly willing to brand him as difficult, as unapproachable, and have nothing more to do with him. I'm flaky. Me too. どこだ And I had seen my pointing apathy changing into I'll play anything for you till you ask me to stop, till it's time for lunch, till the skin on my finger wear off layer after layer, because I like doing things for you. Will do anything for you? Just say the word. I liked you from the day one, and even when you return eyes for my renewed offers of friendship, I will never forget that this conversation occurred between us, and that these are easy way to bring back summer in the snowstorm. What I forget to earmark in that promise was that ice and apathy have ways of instantly repealing all trances and resolution sign in sunny moment. Then come that July Sunday afternoon when our house suddenly emptied, and we were the only ones there, and the fire tore through my gut, because fire was the first and easiest word that come to me later that same evening, when I tried to make sense of it in my diary. I'd waited and waited. My room pinionated to my bed in a trance-like state of terror and anticipation. Not a fire of passion, not a travaging fire, but something blazing like the fire of cluster bombs that suck up the oxygen around them and leave you panting because you'd been kicked in the gut, and vacuum has ripped my every living lung, tissue, and dried your mouth, and you hope nobody speaks because you can't talk, and you pray no one asks you to move. Because your heart is clogged and beat so fast, it would sooner spit out shot of glass than let anything else roll through its narrowed chambers. Fire like fear, like panic, like one more minute of this and I will die if he doesn't knock at my door. マジで好きでたまらないってdoor. But I'd sooner he never knocked than knock now. I had learned to leave my French window ajar, and I'd lie on my bed, wearing only my bathing suit. My entire body was fire like a pleading that says, please tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I've imaged imagined all this because it can't possibly be true for you as well. And if it's true for you too, then you're the coolest man alive. This afternoon, he did finally walk into my room without knocking, as if summoned by my player, and asked how come I wasn't with the others at the beach. And all I could think of saying, though I couldn't bring myself to say, it was to be with you, Oliver, with or without my bathing suit, to be with you on my bed, in your bed, which is my bed during the other months of the year. Do with me what you want, take me, just ask if I want to end. See the answer you will get. Just don't let me say no. And tell me I wasn't dreaming that night when I heard the noise outside the landing by my door and suddenly knew that someone was in my room. Someone was sitting at the foot of my bed, thinking, and finally started to moving up toward me, and was no lying, not next to me, but on top of me.マジでマジか。コンカミ、いらっしゃい。隣に寝るんじゃなくて僕の上に乗ってたと。While I lay on my tummy, and that I liked it so much that rather than risk doing anything to show I'd been awakened or to let him change his mind and go away, I began to be fast asleep, thinking had better not be a dream, because the words that come to me as I placed my eyes shut were, this is like coming home. Like coming home after years away among Trojans and Lestrygonians, like coming home to a place where everyone likes you. そうちゃん、頭皮ただれたから慰めて。頭皮がただれた。日光に当てないようにご自愛ください。髪の毛染めすぎたとか大変だ。皮膚科行ってね。This is cannot have better not to be a dream, because the words that come to me as I placed my eyes shut were, this is like coming home after a year away among Trojan and Lestrygonians, like coming home to a place where everyone is like you, where people know, they just know, coming home as when everything falls into place, and you suddenly realize that for 17 years old, all you'd been doing was fiddling with the wrong combination, which was when I decided to combi without budding, without moving a single muscle in my body that I'd been willing to years of you pursued, that I'd already yielded was yours or yours, except that you were suddenly gone, and though it seems to be a dream, yet I was convinced that all I wanted from that day onward was for you to do the exact same things you'd done in my sleep. The next day, we were playing doubles, and during the break, as we were drinking Mafalda's lemonade, he put his free arms around me and then gently squeezed his thumb andマジか。一昨日病院行ったからブリに負けたと思ったら、ああ、痛いやつだ。僕もなったことある。マジか。He put his free みんなよく聞いて。He put his free arms around me and then gently squeezed his thumb and four fingers into my shoulder in imitation of friendly hug messages. カンカミなんか英語喋ってる。今ね、英語の読み聞かせしてる。I get the context now. Yeah, finally. Oh, by the way, the book title is Call Me By Your Name. Friendly hug message. The whole thing's very charming, but I was so spellbound that I ventured myself free from his touch because a moment longer and I would have slackened like one of those tiny wooden toys whose jumbled body collapses as soon as the main springs are touched. Thoroughly mortified if he suspected he had either hurt me or touched me the wrong way, the last things I wanted was to discourage him. Still, I broated something like, it didn't hurt. スクイーズの話違う。大学教授の息子の家族が夏の間だけ別荘にいるんだけど、その夏の間だけ大学生のイケメンが訪ねてくるんだよね。でその息子とイケメンが最初すげえ嫌い合うんだけど、だんだん好きになるところでちなみにそのスクイーズっていうのは両手を肩にこう回してその男の子の肩をこう撫でてるみたいな感じの状態。スクイーズはこう揉むみたいな意味。Never or something. He hadn't mean to hurt me. He must have felt thoroughly mortified if he suspected he had either hurt me or touched me the wrong way. The last things I wanted was to discourage him. Still, I brought it something like, it didn't hurt, and would have dropped the matter there, but I sensed that if it wasn't pain that has prompted such a reaction, what other explanation could account for my shrugging him also brusquely in front of my friends? So I mimicked the face of someone trying very hard but failing to smother a grimace of pain. It never occurred to me that what had totally panicked me when he touched me was exactly what Starless virgin of being touched for the first time, the person they desire. His tears never in them, they never know existed, and that used for more disturbing pleasures than they are used to on their own. BL なの？いや、そうなんですよ、これ。でも映画化されてて、読んでみようと思って。みんな面白いって言うから、これ。He still seemed surprised by my reaction, but gave every sign of believing in, as I of concealing the pain around my shoulder. It was his way of letting me off the hook and of pretending he wasn't in the least bit aware of my nuance in my reaction, knowing, as I later come to learn, how thoroughly trenchant was his ability to sort contradictory signals. I have no doubt that he must have already suspected something. Here, let me make it better. He was testing me and proceeded to message my shoulder. Relax, he said, in front of the other. But I am relaxing. You are as stiff as this branch. Feel this, he said to Maja, one of the girls closest to us. It all not. He felt her hands on my back. Here, he ordered, pressing her flattened palms hard against my back. Feel it? He should relax more, he said. You should relax more, she repeated. Perhaps in this, as with everything else, because I didn't know how to speak in code, I didn't know how to speak at all. I felt like a deaf and dumb person who can't even use sign language. I stormed all manner of things so as not to speak my mind. That was the extent of my code. So long as I had breath to put words in my mouth, I couldn't more or less carry it off. Otherwise, the silence between us would probably give me away, which was why anything, even the most splattered nonsense, was preferable to silence. Silence would expose me, but what was certain to expose me even more was my struggle to overcome it in front of others. The despair aimed at myself must have given my futures something bordering on my impotence and unspoken rage. That he might have mistaken this as aimed as his never crossed my mind. Maybe it was for similar reason that I wouldn't look away each time he looked at me. 見つめられてると目を離せなくなるってってさ。To conceal the strain of my timidity that he might have found my avoidance offensive and retaliated, which a hostile glance from time to time never crossed my mind either. What I hoped he hadn't noticed my overreacted to his grip was something else. Before shirking of his arm, I knew I had yielded to his hand and had almost learned into it. As if to say, as I do heard adults too often say, when someone happened to massage their shoulders while passing behind them, don't stop. Had he noticed, I was ready not just to yield, but to mold into his body. this was the feelings I took to my diary that night as well. I called it the swoon. Why had I swooned? And could it happen so easily? Just let him touch me somewhere, and I'd totally go limp and realized. Was this what people mean by better melting? And why wouldn't I show how like butter I was? Because I wasn't afraid. I was afraid of what might happen them. Or was I afraid he would have laughed at me, told everyone, or ignored the whole things on the pretext I was too young to know what I was doing? Or was it because he was so much as suspected, and anyone who suspected would of necessity of be on the same wavelengths, he might be tempted to act on it. Did I want him to act, or would I prefer a lifetime of wronging provided we both kept in the little ping-pong game going, not knowing, not knowing. Just be quiet, say nothing, and if you can't say yes, don't say no, say later. Is this why people say maybe when they mean yes? But hope you'll think that it's no when all they really mean is, please just ask me once more, and once more after that. I look back to the summer and can't believe that despite every one of my effort to live with fire and the swarm, life still granted wonderful moment. Italy, summer, the noises of the cicadas in the early afternoon, my room, his room, our balcony that shut the whole world out, the soft wind trading exhalation from our garden up the stairs to my bedroom. The summer I learned to be loved fishing because he said he did, to love jogging because he did, to love octopus, Heraclitus, Tristan. The summer I'd heard a bird singing, smell a plant, or feel the mist rise from under my feet on my warm sunny days, and because my senses were always on alert, would automatically find them rushing to him. I could have denied so many things that I longed to touch his knees and wrist when they glistened in the sun with that viscose sheen I've seen in so very few, that I loved how his white tennis short seems perpetually stained by color of clay, which as the weeks rolled on become the color of his skin, that his hair turning blonder every day, called the sun before the sun was completely out in the morning, that his blowy blue shirt becoming ever more billowy when he wore it on gusty day on the patio by the pool, promised the harbor on a scent of skin, and swear that made me hard just thinking of it. All this I couldn't have denied, and believe my Daniels. 水飲みます。やばい、ペットボトル1本。飲んじゃった。But it was the gold necklace and the Star of David with the golden mothers of his neck, and told me here was something more compelling than anything I wanted from him, for it bounded us and reminded me that while everything else conspired to make us the two most dissimilar beings, this at least transcended all difference. I saw his star almost immediately during his first day with us, and from that moment I knew that what might mystified me and made me wanted to seek out his friendship without ever hoping to find ways to dislike him was larger than anything either of us could ever wanted from the other. Larger and therefore better than his soul, my body, or each itself, starring his neck with a star and telltale. An amulet was like starting at something timeless, ancestral, immortal in me, in him, in both of us, beginning to be rekindled and brought back from it millennially sleep. What baffled me was that he didn't seem to care or notice that I wore one too, just as he probably didn't care or notice each time my eyes wandered along his bathing suit and tried to make out the contour of what made us brothers in the desert. With the exception of my family, he was probably the only other jail who had ever set foot in me. But unlike us, he let you see it from the very start. We were not conspicuous Joes. We were our Judaism, as people do almost everywhere in the world, under the shirt, not hidden, but dragged away, chose a discretion, to use my mother's words, to see someone proclaim his Judaism on his neck, as Oliver did when he grabbed one of our bikes and hit it into town with his shirts wide open, shocked as much as it taught us we could do some and get away with it. I tried imitation him a few times, but I was too self-conscious, like someone trying to feel natural while walking about naked in a locker room, only to end up a lawsuit by his own nakedness. In town, I tried to flaunting my duties with a silent bluster that comes less from arrogance than from this replaced shame, not him. It's not that he never thought about being Jewish or about the life of Jews in the Catholic country. Sometimes we spoke about just this topic during those long afternoons when both of us would put aside work and enjoy chatting while the entire household and guests had all drifted into every valuable bedroom to rest for a few hours. He had lived long enough in small towns in New England to know what it felt like to be the odd Joe out. But Judaism never troubled he the way it troubled me, nor was it the subject an abiding metaphysical discomfort with himself and the world. It did not even harbor the mystical, unspoken promise of redemptive. あ、水。やばい、くしゃみ。ちょっと待って。どこまでだったっけ？ He was okay with himself, that when he was okay with his body, with his looks, with his antique backhand, with his choice of books, music, films, friends, he was okay with losing his prized Mont Blanc pen. I can't buy another one just like it. He was okay with criticism too. He showed my father a few pages he was proud of having written. My father told him his insight into Heraclitics were brilliant but needed firming up, that he needed to accept the paradoxical nature of the philosopher's thinking, not simply explain it away. He was okay with firming things up. He was okay with paradox. Back to the drawing board. He was okay with the drawing board as well. He invited my young aunt a tete-a-tete midnight guitar split in our motorboat. She declined. That was okay. He tried again. A few days later, was turned down again, and again made light of it. She too was okay with it, and had she spent another week with us, would probably have been okay with going out to sea for a midnight. Gita could easily have laced it till sunrise. さあ、ちょうどいいからここで終わっとこうか。今日は20ページを見ました。なるほどね。だんだん主人公は好きになってるけど、向こうはまあなんか友達だと思ってると。はいはいはいはい。これ同時視聴しても良さそうだね。同時視聴どこであるんだろう。 Call me by your name。 待ってね、ネットフリかな。ねえ、Call me by your name。 あるわ。ネットフリにある。あるわ、ネットフリに。Amazon プライムはあるかな。ちょっと待って。ネットフリか。Call me by your name。 アマプラにもあるけど購入しなきゃいけないやつだね。これはなるほど。まあ楽しそう。てかめちゃくちゃ読んだな今日。 ネタフリ、そう、ネタフリにあります。Call me by your name、そう。Conscious, if that helps. It seems like you were unsure of how to pronounce it, but you did get it in the end. Yeah, like a bunch of words I never seen before, and then also I had to read before, but I think I didn't remember well. And then also I didn't read aloud. I just read in my brain, so that's why maybe. Anyway, by the way 今ので、でもまだ1時間半しか読んでないのか。なかなかね。よいしょ。さあ、次は真面目に作業しようかな。お腹すいた。You did it really well. I mean it. I even forgot pronunciation and full of words, and I have only spoken English my whole life. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. 今日は何食べようね。何食べようかな。僕昨日カレー食べたからな。Do you like the book? I mean, yeah, but you know, it takes a little time to finish. So essentially, I don't have like much enough time to finish a book. Soチーズナン食べた。チーズナンね、なかったんですよ。チーズナンがなかったんだよ。だから僕チーズナン食べれてないんだよ。食べたい。チーズナン食べたい。もう完全に口がさ、チーズナンの 感じになってるからさ、ここのところずっと。食べたいな、チーズな。日本に帰って食べたいものがさ、めちゃくちゃあるからさ、日本に帰ると太るんだよね。マジで。Yeah, it does take a minute to get through books. I remember how long it take me to get through the Harry Potter books series. Yeah, I read Harry Potter series when I was in kindergarten, and I think it was take like a month to understand. And then also, I have no clue about the wand size. They describe it in centimeter, right? But I was in kindergarten, so I never know this what is the centimeter mean and an inch. So I thought wand is like a meter long, but when I saw the movie, I finally understand how wrong is it. そうやってお腹のはんぺんが育っていくと、そうなんだよ。どんどんお腹が育っていくんだ、僕は。ワウワウ入りたいな。ワウワウと、あとアベマ TV 入りたいけど、こっちの国でサービスしてないからダメだった。入れない。ゴールデンカムイ見たいな。腹減った。食べっ子動物食べます。高め食べてダイエットしよう。食べっ子動物食べるの。あ、でもダメだ。まだ今日薬飲んでないから食べちゃダメだ。くそ。ああ。Oh yeah. The imperial measurement system is a bit longer in this smaller increment. It is. And then also in the book of Harry Potter, there's no like a picture, right? So I have to imagine what they're going to do or what they do. So まだ残ってた。いやでもね、あと2箱しかないんですよ。食べっ子動物あと2箱しかない。 then a meter is way longer than a foot. It is, and I'm still struggling with the inch and feet, mile stuff. The America should adjust to the world size too. いっぱい食べたし、グミの方もあと3袋4袋ぐらいしかない。日本から持ってきたおやつがだいぶ減ってきちゃった。意味わからない。It helps I'm also in the more unique of the state. Most states call their segmented sections county. Rosinia calls them polishes. Ugh. Weird. Interesting word.ドーナツも食べたいな。But there are few places like Canada that use Celsius, but them also use the imperial system. It's funny. I mean, we should use both, not like only one like system. I mean, bunch of people doesn't know or understand the centimeter or Celsius. I think that's the problem, right? セブンイレブンで揚げたドーナツ買うとこれかけると美味しいですよってスティックシュガーくれて最高よ。なんだそれ、なんだそれ、なんだそれ、おい。I agree. I think knowing both is good, but here is in the state in any science subject from grade school to university we use the metric system and the Celsius. Imperial is more used to for construction and things along those lines. I mean, there's like the moment that the school changed to the Celsius, right? I think that makes more confusing, right? Because they used to use like inch or like feed stuff. And then suddenly in the school, in the class of the science, they switch, right? It's really hard to switch the mind to the sensual, right? お砂糖くれるのいいなね。コンビニでさ、でも僕さ、ドーナツのさ、揚げパンとかドーナツとかあんま食べたことないからさ、気になるんだけど、揚げパンうまい揚げドーナツうまいFor the everyday person, at least. Yeah. 肉まんとホットドッグスナックに挟まれて最近ドーナツ持ってんだよ、うまピー。はあなんだそれ。はあ、羨ましい。揚げパン食べたい。Oh, I wanna fried donuts. Same here. But if I eat it, then the calorie is gonna hit my tummy. 油を吸った食べ物全部うまいまである。そうなんだよな。だって僕油揚げめっちゃ好きだもん。めちゃくちゃ油揚げ好き僕。油揚げをさ焼いてさ、醤油かけて食べるやつめっちゃ好きなんだよね。昔はドーナツもホットスナックみたいに置いてたけど、個包装になってからパンのところに並ぶようになったもんな。でも僕さ、ドーナツってさ、あったかいの食べるのが一番なんだよね。そう思わない？I mean, a little tummy never hurt anyone. But I'm in a diet period, so if I eat it, then 油揚げ焼いて食うよ。油揚げって焼いて食うでしょ。食わんの？あったけえドーナツを作った時以外食ったことねえぞ。いやだから出来たてがやっぱうまいんですよ。そりゃね。でもミスノも行きたいしな。出来たてが一番。そりゃそう。出来たてが一番うめえ。そう、油揚げ焼いてネギ乗せてお醤油かけて食べる。そう、それ。油揚げじゃなくて豆腐の可能性あるかな。なんか油揚げ豆腐みたいなやつ。あれが好きなんですよね、僕は。あれに大根おろしとか乗ってるやつが好き。あ、そう、揚げ豆腐ね。でも普通に油揚げ焼くのもうまいんすよ。うめえ。豆腐はね、うめえっすよ。 食べたいな、油揚げ。Oh, I see. Hope your diet's going well. Thank you. Well, I think it's going well for now. Yeah, my muscle is glowing up. Getting bigger and stronger. Duh. Someday I could be a man. 出来たてが食べたくてやっぱり自炊しちゃうんだよな。そうなんですよね。結局好きなもの好きな量だけ食べたいからね。そうわかる。僕最近クソでけえラザニア作った。マジでクソでけえラザニア作ったそうでもちろん一回じゃ食べれなくて、でっかいタッパーみたいなのに入れて今冷蔵庫の中多分食べきれない。ちなみに僕辛いの好きだからめちゃくちゃあれかけてる。なんだっけ、タバスコ。近く寄るとね目が痛くなるんだよだからこうやって顔をそらしながらじゃないとラザニアの上にかかったタバスコのせいで目が痛くなって食べれないから目閉じながら食うんだよね。そういうラザニア作ります僕は。クソでけえラザニアね、マジうまいよ。Muscles during a cut, you are a man. Size doesn't determine diet. So if that is what you want for yourself, I think it's good. And keep it up. Keep it at it. Keep it at it. Just don't be too hard on yourself. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. ぜひ作ってみてください。でかいラザニア。僕食べれない量のチャーハン作るのも好きなんで。残ったやつどうすんの？友達に食わせます。食えってやります。でももちろんタバスコは自分が食べる分にしかかけてないからね、大丈夫だよ。 デスソースは食わせる。もちろん食べさせますよ。それ込みで僕のラザニアだから。僕のラザニアが食べられないっていうのか。そんなの許さないぜ。お、頑張ってください。いってらっしゃい。口にねじ込んでこう。そうだよ。一回さ、僕さこっちの高校ってさ、卒業パーティーがあるんですね。プロムって呼ばれてるやつがあるんですけど、その中でなんかよくわかんなくなって、で気づいたら友達の上に乗ってひたすらそいつにフランスパンを口に詰め込んでました。なんか僕自身はそれ覚えてなくて、後日その状態を動画に撮ってた友達がいて、でそいつに見せられたんですけど、別の友人神主のガスが椅子に座ってるじゃないですか。で僕がその上に座ってて、でひたすら片方の手で口開けつつ、もう片方でフランスパン詰め込んでました。マジで記憶ない。本当に。でずっと美味しいだろ美味しいだろって聞いてた。おもろくない？ずっと聞いてた。Where I live, being a man is less physical strength and more ability to handle things, and strong in your morals and what you think is right, and keeping your emotion, especially anger, in check. But that's more southern USA than anywhere else in the States, huh? Ah, southern. I never been to there before. But I mean, that's needed for not for like southern US, just like for every man. Isn't it? I think so. なんか決めてるな。いや、なんかね、ほんと覚えてないんだ僕。何してたかも覚えてなくて。そうなんかプロムで何かをした記憶はあるんだけど、なんかひたすら食パンフランスパンをさ、食えってやって、美味しいよなって美味しいって言わせてた記憶がある。まあYeah, it's just spewed more along those lines here is what I mean. Yeah, I understand. やっぱりバーサーカーなんだ。でもそいつもなんだかんだ悪い気してなさそうな、なんかまんざらでもない顔してたから、別にいいんじゃないかな。いいんじゃないかなって言い方も違うか。いや、幸せでしょ、そいつも。いや、だって僕の手ずからパンを与えてやったんだ。嬉しいでしょ。 あとなんかあるかな、その時。その時さ、確か家帰れなくて友達ん家泊まったんだけど、もうさみんなさ基本的にずっと大騒ぎしてるわけじゃん。で僕さ次の日最悪だったんだよ本当に。なんかさ、友達と確かゲストルームかなんかで3人ぐらいでゲストルーム泊まってて、その友達ん家の友人彼女のね。でそのホストのそのなんていうの、そこに住んでる友人彼女じゃない他の3人とゲストルーム泊まっててさ、なんか僕人と寝るのがさあんまり得意じゃないからさ、全然寝れなくて、なのにすげえ気持ち悪いのを覚えててさ、なんか気をつけようと思った気をつけようと思ったよその時は、さすがにね。でもフランスパンは多分気持ちよかったと思う、多分ね。I'm curious, if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would you like to go? I've been in lots of country before. It's almost like 15, 12, like 15 or 12 around. And I really liked Taiwan and then the Indonesia. So maybe I wanna come back to visit there. But if I visit for like the first time, then I would say maybe New Zealand or Australia. Yeah, I heard that they have the other accent of English, right? And then I'm kind of curious what kind of accent does they have. That's it. That's the reason why I want to go. But yeah, and then also the koala, kangaroo, and the other nature and animal stuff. フランスパンが気持ちいい、聞いたことがない日本だな。いや僕も聞いたことないっすよ。何それ？怖っ。フランスパンね。いやでもね、本当にね、見せれることなら見せてあげたいぐらいあの動画クソおもろい。僕さ、もう完全に目がさ、こうなんかさ、座った状態でさ、欲しいよな、もっと食えって友達の口にフランスパン詰め込んでるのめっちゃおもろい。座ってんだよね、目が完全に。腹減ったマジで。プロムってそういう場なの？なんかこう男女でイチャイチャするものじゃないの？だからそれは男女が成立してる場合ですもんね。僕の場合は友達と行ったし、で友達とバカ騒ぎしたし、でももちろんそのそうね、カップルが成立してたらいいんだけど、いないからさ、僕は基本的に。 気まずいな。でも普通にいなかったら友達同士で行くようなもんだからね。基本的には、まあ元をたどれば社交場に出るデビュー戦みたいなもんですけど、今となってはただの形骸化したパーティーですんで。Oh, that's cool. And yeah, there are a few really different accent for English, and even the state valley on where you go, Southern, Caucasian, Middle Western, Northern, and outside of US, the UK has a few. What are? What are? そう。男女じゃなくてもいい。そうね。そう。カップル。僕はどれぐらいかな ?5、6人の友達と行ったかな。And Australia has some variation in location too. Yeah, because they're so huge. Maybe I have to search a little bit because I have no clue. Well, I don't know the city or country name in the Australia, so maybe I need to like search on Google to find. Yeah. こんかみいらっしゃいませ。こんかみ。Sydney is a popular tourist spot. Oh yeah, I heard before Sydney. Is that? No, it's not a main city, right? There's like a city which haveオーストラリアの首都ってどこだっけ？首都キャピタル、キャンベラ。そうだ、キャンベラだ。キャンベラね。で、メルボンとシドニーの中間地点。へえ。そっちは今何時ぐらい？こっちは朝の10時です。メルボン、キャンベラだった。いや、惜しい。There's a Western Australia, Northern, South, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria. いろいろあるね。こんばんは。ようこそいらっしゃいませ。あ、ゆっくりしてってねって言うんだ、ここで。ゆっくりしてってください。Oh, I've never heard Canberra. It sounds cool. Yeah, and then they has capital. So I think it's the main city, right? And Darwin? I will look into it. Yeah, same here. そっちは今夕方ぐらい。今朝の10時やね。お、アムくんやっほー。アムくん元気？僕によく美味しいご飯の写真を送ってきやがって。よくもまあやってくれるよ。たくよ。僕じゃなかったら殴ってたぜ。危ねえ。朝日を浴びると塵になる系。夜行型神主的には苦しい時間だね。そうなんですよ。最近本当に塵になるからさ、よくないんだよ。本当によくない。塵になりがち。Can I see how you'd pronounce my state's capital and a large city here too? Sure. You mean United States City, right? Let's see. State. Let's see. Which one is good for map? Alright, let's see. 仲良し兄弟、僕らほんと仲いいもんね。アマくん。僕ら仲いいもんね。カリフォルニア、オレゴン、ワシントン、アイダホ、ネバダ、アリゾナ、ユタ、モンタナ、なんだこれ、ワーミング、コロラド、ニューメキシコ、ノースダコタ、サウスダコタ、ネブラスカ、カンザス、オクラホマ、テキサス、ルイジアナ、アーカンサス、ミッソーリ、アイオワ、ミネソタ、ウィスコンシン、イリノイス、ケンタッキー、インディアナ、ミシガン、オハイオ、テネス、アルバマ、フロリダ、ジョージア、サウスカロライナ、ノースカロライナ、バージニア、ウェストバージニア、マウンテンママ、Take me home, country road, Vermont, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Maryland, Maine. Okay. Most people in the States don't pronounce it how locals do so, don't feel bad. It's okay. Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Baton Rouge and New Orleans, Tennessee. Everything else was spot on. Really? Yay. Double piece. そう。アムくんまだいるかな？アムくんさ、僕とコラボしてよ。僕と遊んでよ。ダメ？アムくん。僕と遊ぼうよ。一緒に。いるかなまだ。いなかったら僕、片思いなんだけど。一緒に遊ぼうよ。アムくん。いないか。もういないかもしれない。じゃあ僕の片思いだ。終わった。いないわ。そっか。僕の片思いか。そっか。いいよ。メッセージ送ろう。この時にはもういなかったね。よし、ぼっち、くそぼっちの可能性はある。悔しい。ぼっちだ。バロラントやってもさ、アムくん。そうか。僕よりバロラントか。まあ。いいよ。いいよ。もう全然。もう。僕よりもバロラントの方が好きなんだねっていう。そっか。やばい。バロロ始めちゃった。遊ぼうよ。じゃあね、遊ぼう。激詰めされてるよ、これ。 そんな詰められるNew Orleans is how most people pronounce Orleans. Its local is Orleans and Roger. New Orleans and Roger. Am I doing well? I hope my pronunciation breakdowns help. Yeah, it is. It makes sense. But my tongue is not available to say it because my muscle isn't going up well. やばい。アムクに激詰めされてる。これさ、面白いのはさ、定期的に無言でさ、今日食べたものの写真を送られてくるんだけどさ、なんかさ、めちゃくちゃ面白いんだよね、アムくん。なんか、おっていうオッケーっていうさ。でもちなみに日本のその僕の実家神社とあんまり離れてないってことが分かったから、僕は絶対にアムくんとご飯を食べに行くって決めたんだ。アムくん誘い乗ってくれるかな。シャルウィーダンスなんだけど、アムくんにご飯食べ行こうやって言うねんな。言ったるねん。僕ご飯食べに行こうやって言ったるねんな。そういいでしょそう、しかもなんかね、アムくんのね作るご飯クソうまそうなんだよな。意味わからんぐらいうまそう。普通に意味わからん、マジで。なんでこんなうまそうなんと思って許せないね、僕は。唐揚げの写真をこの前送ってくれたんだけどさ、めっちゃうまそうなのよ。どういうこと？本当に。Sometimes I mess it up like the Roger, maybe Reggie might have been better. So the correct pronunciation is Roger, right? Roger. 家としよう。しちゃうよ、僕も本当に。本当にしちゃうよ、僕。なんならオフコラボしちゃうよ。まだ声かけてないから勝手なこと言えないんだけど。飯食わせろって言いに行くのもあり、全然。後で声かけよう。やばいな、間違えた。トイレ、違う、僕にトイレの概念はない。読み聞かせの時に水飲みすぎて、違うな。なんて言えばいいかな。ちょっとそろそろかもしれない。But I have really little input. Your pronunciation is really well, especially impressive how often you say it right after your first time seeing ours. And yeah, the second one was better though. Oh, really? Roger? お前お花摘み、そうね、そうとも言うけど、ちょっと僕じゃあお花摘み行ってこようかな。Both are right. I was referring to what the city of pronounced. But anyway, I think it's time to go to the. Oh, you know what? In Japanese, there's a if if you want to go to the restroom, but you don't want to say in dialect words, like you wanna hide or like secretly you want to go, then you can say, I'm gonna pick up the flower. So, そろそろ僕もお花摘みに行かなければいけないかもしれない。終わっとこっか。じゃあ今日のところは。そうだな。なんか言っとくことあるかな。次の配信は、水曜日の昼からですね。昼の雑談枠を久々にやろうかなと思っています。はい。というわけで、お勉強と拙い本読みに付き合ってくださりありがとうございました。というわけで、おつかみおやすみなさい。ふはふはおやすみふはふん。